Most kids with diabetes must take insulin because their bodies don't produce it anymore. Without insulin, their blood sugars would go really high. Diabetes can be at times complex. Deciding how much insulin to take is one of those times. You have to figure out a good balance between exercise and how much food you're eating. Insulin, food, and exercise form a triangle. Your diabetes educator will help you figure out a good insulin dose. My blood sugar was 137. I'm wondering what I should do.
So it's almost dinner time, right?
Yeah.
So it's time for insulin. So how much insulin do you think you need?
Well, let's see, the scale. My scale here, my insulin scale, says I should take 4 lenti and 2 regular. Now, if my blood sugar was 250, what would I take?
Looks like 3 regular.
3 regular?
Mm-hmm. And if it was lower than 100, you would just take a small dose of 1 unit of regular. Because you always need to take...
Would I take lenti though?
You would always take your lenti.
Always. What's the importance of lenti? What do they do? I mean, what's the difference between regular insulin and lenti?
Alright, regular insulin is the fast-acting or rapid-acting insulin. So that'll be working in another hour or 2 and be all gone in like 6. And the lenti works later, so you're taking this before dinner, so the lenti will be working while you're sleeping. You always need insulin in your body, even when you're not eating.
Why do you have to roll it before you take it?
Because lenti is a powder and it will settle in the bottom. If you don't roll it, then all the powder stays in the bottom and that's the insulin, and you won't get any insulin if you don't roll it.
But why don't you roll the regular?
Because regular is not a powder. If you look at the bottle of regular, it's totally clear like water, and lenti is a cloudy solution. And if you look at a bottle of lenti, when you first open it, you'll probably see all the powder on the bottom. And that's why you always have to roll it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Sort of?
Sort of.
Kind of?
I'm not a diabetes educator. He's the pro. In order to take my insulin, I need 4 things. I need my book to record my numbers. I need my insulin, which is self-defined. I need an alcohol swab to cleanse the insulin bottle. And I need a syringe to drop the insulin and inject it. I wash my hands. Now that's always important, so you don't get bacteria in your hands. Okay, my blood sugar was 137, which means I'm going to take 2 units of regular and my usual dose of lenti, which is 4. First I have to roll the lenti and then wipe the tops of the insulin bottles with an alcohol swab, a sterile one. You need to wipe the top of the insulin bottles with an alcohol swab to remove all the dirt that might be on them. When I do that, I take off the caps of the insulin syringe and I put equal amounts of air to the dose in the bottle. 4 units of air in the lenti, and 2 units of air in the regular. The reason for putting air into the insulin bottles before you drop your dose is because it makes it easier to drop your dose once the air is in the bottle. And then I draw 2 units of insulin up in the regular. Now, I can squirt it out and back into the bottle if there are any air bubbles, because that can affect the dose. I see that there are no air bubbles, and I draw it up. I do the same with the lenti. Check there are no air bubbles, draw it up. 2 and 4 is 6, I hope you all know that. And I get it right here, 2 and 4. That's it, there's my dose. Now that I had my dose drawn up, I'm ready to inject it. I have the syringe, and I want to inject it in my stomach. And that's cool. It's one of the 4 points that you can inject it. The reason for rotating sites is because if you take a shot too many times in one place, you might get sore or a lump may form. If you inject into the lump, the insulin will not work right. So I squeeze the skin, I inject the syringe, I let go, push in the plunger, voila, it's done, as simple as that. In order to dispose of your syringe after injecting, you have to put the syringe back in its cap. You then throw them away. But you can't throw them away in the garbage. You have to throw them away in a hard plastic container, such as a detergent container. That will help the environment and others. So that's a wrap. The video's over, and I hope you guys at home have learned a lot. By now, you're probably not newly diagnosed patients anymore. You're newly diagnosed patients who are educated about diabetes. This video has been just a lot of fun for me, and I hope you enjoyed watching it.